Hello and welcome back to another video on Mercedes G Wagon, yet another video. Okay, so we think we're nearly there. However, we seem to have developed a bit of an issue. The car will start, no problem. This is cooled. But when you rev it, it'll start up no problem when you rev it. It's backfiring back through the inlet. Not that obvious. Now it's quite warm here today, so it's not too obvious. However, on a cold morning, it's really quite bad. It won't rev up on a cold morning. It'll start easily, no problem at all, but you can't rev it up until it's warmed up for after a few minutes. What I think it is the the warm-up regulator, which is down there. You can just see it. It's got the two pipes on there. They can cause issues with these engines, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off, or may have a look at one I've already got, see what the condition of that's like, and then we'll change it round and see how it starts. Then what we'll probably do is leave it till the morning, till we start it, till it's cooled overnight, and then we'll have another go of it. So I will do that now, and I'll come back in the video in a moment. Fuel, it's either inlet or outlet, I'm not 100% sure, tell you the truth, but I do know that these can block. So there's like a little gauze filter in these, and these can block. So let's have a look. Oops, I'll find that washer afterwards. See what. Now then, let's have a bit of light on it. Now we can see that. There you are. You can see in there. Oh, that's a better picture. That is blocked, so that is definitely going to give us a running issue. So I'm going to clean that out off camera and come back and show you the result. Right, so a quick blast out with the airline. You can see that gauze is clear now. So that would have definitely caused us an issue on cold start. On the other side, this one, there's no gauze in that one, so I'm not going to bother taking that. I've already taken it off. There's no point in doing it on camera because there's nothing there to see. But that is nice and clear now, and that would definitely have caused us a running issue. Now I know that the heating element is supposed to be about, the resistance on the heating element is supposed to be about 25 ohms, I think. I'll try and test it. It's quite difficult with one hand, but there we are. It's about 25 ohms. Well, it's actually fluctuating between 24. Well, it's 24.8. It's going down slightly, but I've got continuity and about the right resistance in the heater element. This part, which obviously is inside, so I'm quite confident when I refit that on a cold start, I'm not going to have any issue with cold running. I think it's going to be all good. So yeah, we'll refit that and we'll see what it's like on a cold start. All right, so it's a couple of days later now. Now I did fit that regulator back on the engine, and to be honest, it was just about the same as it was before I cleaned it out. You have to wait till the morning really for sort of real world conditions, so it's cold overnight. So I took it back off again. Now what you can't see, looking from this side, you can see the gauze there quite clearly, but there's actually a little gallery between the ports, which you can't really see on this side. So turning it over, this is a spare the regulator I've got, by the way, this isn't the one off the engine. Turn it over, you can see the various parts. This is the bimetallic strip. So that's the part that when it warms up, it bends. I can't remember which bit it bends now, but it bends and leans off the mixture, so that it runs on choke initially, or runs on a rich mixture. This will bend with the heat, and eventually lean out the mixture to the point where when the engine's warm, so you've got like the correct mixture at that point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 10mm nut off, and I'll show you what I've done to rectify the fault, because it is right now, and I will prove it by it. I'll show you at the end of the video. A couple of springs, take those off. There's a little top hat, oops, there. I'm going to try and do this one-handed, so it's not easy. That little pin is a bit that presses on the diaphragm, which is underneath it. What I'm going to have to do is take that nut off camera, and I'll come straight back. Right, so that's the nut off that retains the bimetallic strip. There's a clip underneath that plug on the other side to hold the plug in. I've just taken that clip off, and then that lifts out. I mean, as you can see, it's quite dirty. I've cleaned it up a little bit because it wasn't nice. Right, so now we've got 4 screws just there, and underneath that is like a very thin diaphragm. I'll take those screws out, and again I'll do that off camera because I can't do it one-handed, and then I'll come back again. Right, so 4 screws out. Okay, so that plate lifts out, but underneath is like a diaphragm, thin diaphragm. If you see that there, okay, and then underneath that is an O-ring, it's a rubber O-ring, fairly obvious what that is. And then you've got the 2 ports there. Now obviously the one with the gauze on the other side is the inlet, which the gauze obviously is to prevent dirt going through into the injectors and things like that. So actually don't do the nice. Okay, so you can't see it, but there is a gallery that runs between those 2 ports, those 2 holes. So what I did in the end, because it still wasn't right, I blew air through both of those going back the other way, so it was going back through this side. It wasn't obvious that it was blocked, but it must have been, because once I put it back on, the engine starts perfectly freezing cold and revs up, drives as it should completely normally from freezing cold. So that's obviously the issue. So if you've got an issue with a warm-up regulator, or you think you have, just because you've cleared the gauze out doesn't mean that it won't be blocked a little bit further in, because even like a few tiny particles getting in there, it's gonna restrict the fuel flow. So you're not going to have it working properly, then the fuel won't flow enough through that to give you the conditions that you need to start a cooled engine. It may start, but mine did, but it just wouldn't rev up. So it meant the mixture was lean until it warmed up, and then it wasn't too bad. So that's the issue. So if you have problems, blow through with an airline both of those from this side. They're a fairly simple thing. They're fairly easy to strip, and they're easy to put back together again as well. So I would recommend that you try that if you're having cold start problems. So it's night time here now. The G Wagon's been sitting outside in the warm all day. So I'm not going to show you a cold start because it's not really that cold. So, but I'm going to come back in the morning and finish the video off with a cold start. Right, so it's first thing in the morning. We'll try the engine now. It's been standing overnight, so it's freezing. So here we go. So it fires straight up, a little bit of gas. No popping and banging. A little bit of screeching from the fan belt, but that's easily sorted. So that is the warm-up regulator sorted. So that'll be that for this video. So thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. If you have any questions, just please drop them in the comment section, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.